we are running this agent. It's asking a question. I'll say, what is the temperature of New Delhi? It's going to use the search internet tool which we have provided here. It give me the result, and then I will ask for the next, like tomorrow's temperature. That means it is having the conversation memory in this agent, which is again using search internet to provide that. And once we have that, then I'm going to ask, give me in Celsius, and this is now converting both of the temperature into the Celsius. I do have another tool called math which it tried, but obviously this is just going to give the summation, and finally it used its own knowledge to convert the temperature into the Celsius. So currently is 35, tomorrow is 32. This entire agent is very simple to create. You just need to focus on how the flow comes, and that's why we are not going to start from creating the OpenAI LLM and then creating the prompt. We are directly going to start from creating a agent, and we are really going to start with the agent and see what it need. It need the LLM. Okay, let's create the LLM. It need the tool. How do we create the tool? And it need the prompt, and how do we create the prompt? But then we realized that we cannot use the agent directly. We need the agent executor. So what is the use of agent executor? Why these tools are provided 2 times? And at last we will see that agent executor is also not good. We need an agent executor with memory to have the memory system. All that thing will going to be explained in detailed in this video step by step, so you are not going to miss out anything. And at last you will going to also see how to create the tools in 2 different ways. One, using the tool from the LangChain, and second is using the Python function, which is something like this. But this is all in this video. So let's start creating and understanding how to create the agents using LangChain. If you are worrying about LangGraph, don't worry, we are also going to cover the LangGraph. But to understand the LangGraph, it's really important to know how we previously created the agents in LangChain, and that's important, and that's what I'm going to show you here. If you have any question related to the LangChain agent, anything, let me know in the comment section. I generally respond to each and every comment of my videos. And if you have not yet subscribed, go and subscribe to Bitfin's YouTube channel, because we are going to create something crazy in this video. Let's start. To get started with our LangChain agent, we first need to use the UV. Why? Why not pip? Because this UV is 100 times faster and really easy to use instead of pip. But if you want to use pip, you are free to use. All the packages are exactly same. If you want to have the UV, you just run this command and boom, you are ready. So I'm here on my terminal, which is warp I'm using. It's really nice. Try it out. So if you have the UV, if you say help, you get the help. If not, you're getting command not found. That means your UV is not yet installed. Okay, let's get back here, and first of all I'll say UV init, and then I'm going to use this LangChain agent. So it's going to create a directory with bunch of files. Let's see. So first of all, let's go to the LangChain agent, open this with cursor, and here we are. Now you can see on the right side we have a lot of amazing things already here. We have a readme file, we have a project.toml file where all the dependencies will automatically get added once you start using UV to add the dependency. No more requirement.txt, no more managing the version, everything will be directly here. You have the main.py, which is the entry point. You can change it anything. I'm just going to remove everything from here. And finally, if you want to use any specific version of Python, that too you can define here, which is again super easy. But what about the virtual environment? Yeah, don't worry about that. UV will going to take care of that. And how? Let's see. So first of all, I'm going to say print hello AI. I think this is the new way of hello instead of hello world. So let's run this. UV run main.py. That's so simple. And you have seen that we have not yet created any environment. UV is going to take care of everything. And now we have .venv directory, which is the virtual environment. Virtual environment is used by the UV, and we are printing the hello world. If you can see on the project.toml, we are still having no dependency because we have not used any dependency. Now let us start creating the LangChain agent. So let's first jump directly into creating an agent. How do we create an agent? We just need to say agent, and then we have to say create tool calling agent. Now from where this is coming? This is obviously coming from LangChain. So we need to say from LangChain dot agents import create. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say uv add LangChain. That's the only thing. Yeah. So now LangChain is available in our project. If I go to the project.toml, you can see the dependency is already added. That's super duper nice. Now we are here back, and now our cursor is picking up the packages, and we can say create tool calling agent. That's good. Now what this tool calling agents will need? So we can explore this function via going into the agent, search for create tool calling agent, then go inside that. It needs some of the things, which is LLM, extremely important, tools, what tool it need, and the prompt. So let's provide these three things. So first of all, I'll say LLM, then we need tools, then we need prompt. Okay, so let's work on all these things, and then we will say that, hey, yes, we have created the agent. Okay, let's first start with the LLM. So I'll say LLM is equal to, we are going to use the OpenAI. So I'll say chat OpenAI. But from where this is coming? Okay, so for that we need to install one more thing, uv add LangChain underscore OpenAI. This, if we install, then we can simply say LangChain OpenAI import chat OpenAI. Okay, so we are here. Now this need two things. First of all is model. Which model we are going to use for this? I'm going to use the GPT 4.1 mini, and then the API key, obviously. So API key is equal to, I can say OpenAI API key. Now we need to use this API key from the .env file. So let's go on this and create a .env file, and here I'll say OpenAI API key. Now I do have the API key, so I just paste it and try to run this. So how do we import the API key? So we need to say OpenAI API key is equal to os.getEnv, which is OpenAI API key. But we need to import os, but also we need to load the .env file. For that we need another package which is called uv add load.env. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say from .env import load.env, then we just say load.env, and we should see that OpenAI key will be available. Now just for now I'm going to just comment this so that we can see if our system is working fine or not. So llm.invoke, and I'm going to ask, who are you? Wow, that's great. So now we know we need to use the uv run main.py, and if everything is fine, then we should get the result like who you are from the OpenAI. Okay, it says, hello, I'm ChatGPT, an AI model created by OpenAI. Cool, so it's working fine. We have completed the first step of adding the LLM. Next is creating a tool. Okay, we are going to create a very simple tool, and then we will move forward and create something advanced. How? Let's see. First of all, I'll say tools. This is going to be an array of tool, and the first tool I'm going to create is the math tool. Now this can be a simple Python function. I say def function, which is math, the name. It's going to accept a as integer, b as again integer, and then it's going to return also the integer, and finally what it do is a plus b. This is a simple Python function, but it will be only useful by the LM if it has the description on it. So how do we provide the description? We just need to use these three double quotes, and inside that we say add two numbers which are A and B and return the result. Okay, now this function is useful by the LM, but still, hold on, we still have to make it a tool. How? We need to add a decorator, and we say it's a tool, and this decorator comes from LangChain dot tools import tool. Now this is good, and now we have ready with a tool called math. We can also call it sum, it up to you. Okay, finally come the prompt. So now we need to say prompt. This prompt will be again coming as a template. So chat prompt template, but it's coming again from the LangChain. So from LangChain dot prompt import chat prompt template, like this. Cool. And then we say from messages, and here we are going to provide a message. This message is going to hold system prompt, the human prompt, and some other important things. What are they? Let's see. First of all, we need system. System is you are helpful assistant. Now that's very simple. Then we also need a human version, and this will going to be an input which a human will going to provide. So it's going to be a variable called input. But you know what? It's by the way, this is here. Yeah. Now what's going to happen here? We also need to provide some more information, and you will going to see when we get some error, because that's a very nice way to know what we need to do. Okay, so we have everything. We have LLM, we have tool, we have prompt. Isn't it so easy just to run this or invoke this agent? Let's try this. So we say agent dot invoke, and here I provide input as, so input is what is the temperature in New Delhi. Okay, I'm going to just copy this. Okay, and let's try to run this. UV run main.py. But at this point we are getting a very nice error, which is extremely important when running or creating an agent in LangChain. See, this says missing required variable agent scratchpad. Now what happened is this agent need some place to put its thought, or basically whenever this agent is trying to create the strategy what to do, then it is going to write it out, the scratch pad, where it do all that thinking and planning of these things. So for that we need to provide the placeholder as the agent scratch pad. Now this is the real thing. Cool. Once we have this, again I don't need to use the colon, I need to use the comma. Okay, once we have this, then we can start running it. Okay, this time it says, hey, everything is fine with your agent, but your agent is not invocable. You cannot directly invoke your agent. Why? Because agent, here we have created create tool agent, is only going to decide which tool to call. It cannot take action as of now. This is just planning. So we have the prompt. According to the prompt, it will go to the LLM to decide what to do, and from this tool, if it need, then say, okay, I need to call this tool. I need to call this tool, but it's not at all able to call it. Then who is going to call this tools? For that, we actually need the agent executor, which is going to execute, which is going to take action from this agent information. Okay, so we say agent executor is again agent executor, which is coming from LangChain.agents import agent executor, and we can say executor. Now what it needs, since it's an agent executor, it needs the agent information. So we simply say agent is equal to agent. Then we also need to provide the tools. But why we need to provide the tools again, I'm going to tell you very soon. But at the last, I'll say verbose is equal to true, so that we see what actually happening behind the scene when this agent executor execute the agent information. Now, calling about these tools. So we are providing tool two times. One is on the agent and second is on the agent executor. Isn't it seem like a repetitive thing? Why we should provide the tools two times? So what happened? When the information comes to the agent, it used these tools information to decide which tool to call. Then if I say, hey, what is the temperature of New Delhi? It says, hey, either I need a weather information or internet search. Okay, internet search is available. So if it says internet search is available, it will stop there. It says, here is the plan. I need to go to the search. I need to execute this tool, get the information and provide the response. But it will not able to execute. It just say I need to call a tool called search. Now this executor will take these information and executor know that, okay, the agent I have is asking to execute or run a tool called search. Where is the tool? At this point, these tool information will come handy. And then once executor know, okay, agent want to call a search tool. Where is the search tool? Here. Let's execute it. Got it? So that's why we need to provide the tools two times. Now, once everything is fine, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say question is equal to input, and I say u colon, and here I will just say question. Okay, instead of this agent, I need to say agent executor, and I will say result is something like this, and then print result output. Okay, let's try to run this once again. What is 2 and 4? Also, let's say 5. Now, since we have provided the math tool, agent executor need, oh wait, we have a tool called math. So we need to invoke that math tool. And here we get the math tool. But what's going to happen if I call or if I ask, what is the temperature of New Delhi? At this point, agent will refuse to give answer and say that, hey, I don't know, I don't have access about these kind of information, since these need either a weather API or weather tool or search tool. I don't have any of them. Okay, so since our agent is ready, it is really working, let's add one more tool which is called search. And to search, I'm going to use the SERP API. How that going to work? I'll say SERP API, and if I go here, obviously you can log in, you get some 100 search per month, and here is the API key. I'm going to copy this API key, move.env, I'll say SERP API underscore key is this, and now I'm going to say SERP API underscore key is os.getEnv SERP API underscore key. Cool. Now we need to create a SERP API tool. How? See, LangChain is really amazing. So from LangChain underscore community, okay, so we don't have the community, so we say add LangChain community like this. It's super fast. I love this. Dot utilities import SERP API wrapper. Now I say SERP API is equal to SERP API wrapper. This need the SERP API key, which we know is SERP API key, something like this. Okay, so we have the SERP API key. Now we have two ways to actually create the tool out of this SERP API wrapper. How? Let me show you. We know we can create a simple function and we add decorate to make it a tool with a proper description. Let's do this. So I'm going to create search internet, and this will get a query, and query is going to be the string. It return the string, and then it's having some description. We will going to write it later, but for now I just say SERP API dot run, and this is going to have the query. This basically going to execute the SERP API and give the result. Okay, we know to make it a tool, we just need to decorate @tool and add the description. Search the internet for latest information. Okay, that's really simple. Now let's just add search internet as the tool in our tools list. Everything else will be same, and I'm going to run this file. And this time I'm going to ask about the temperature, but something is wrong here. Please add environment variable. So it's not picking up the environment variable. That's strange. Okay, so the problem is the SERP API. I think it's like SERP API key is SERP API key which we have. Now let's try one more time, and this time it should work. Yeah, it's working, but now it says, hey, I need Google search results package, which is used by the SERP API. So once again, UB add Google search result. That's run super duper fast, and yep, we are ready here with the question. So I say, what is the temperature of New Delhi? So now it's really using the tool which we have provided called search internet with the query current temperature in New Delhi, which is really nice, and it provided 93 Fahrenheit. And what I'm going to do next is I want to have a proper conversation. So at this point, the chain, the LangChain chain is finished. Answer is here what we have to do. So what I'm going to do here, when we are executing this, let's move this in a loop. So I say while true and put all these things like this, and now say if question dot lower in either quit or exit, then I just need to say print goodbye and then break the loop. Otherwise, keep asking the agent. Okay, that's great. So one more time, I asked for the temperature of New Delhi. Now it's executing, giving me the result. We are good. Now we have another question. So let's say, what about tomorrow? That means it should retain the conversation and give me the tomorrow's temperature of Delhi, because we have asked previously, but now it is not having any memory. So let's add memory to our agent so that it will execute the next command from the previous conversation. For that, what we need to do, we again not having to use the executor. We need an agent executor with memory. Okay, how this is going to work? So agent executor with memory. How this is going to work? Very simple. First of all, we need to create a memory, and we will see how. First of all, I say runnable. Now this is coming from LangChain community, LangChain core, by the way, LangChain core dot what's this, runnable. So we say runnable import runnable with chat history. This is we need. So runnable with chat history. It's a long name. I don't like this name, but at least it is. So it need the executor. So we say agent executor. Then it need the way or a function which is going to get the session or the memory, the conversation previously we had. So we say get session. Third, it need the input variable. Remember, on our prompt we are providing human as an input, the keyword, and that's why when we say invoke, we provide the input because it's a question which is passing out to the prompt. So it need the input message key, which is again input. That's it. Now what next? We need to create the get session function. Okay, so let's create get session. This will need the session ID, session underscore ID, and what it's going to do, we first need the memory store, basically where the conversation or the memory history will be stored. So in the memory store. Now I say if session ID is not in memory store, then obviously add it. So memory store session ID, and this is going to have a chat history, chat message history, and we will see how this comes. If it is already available, then just return the memory store. Cool. Now from where this chat history come? Obviously from LangChain core dot chat history import chat. I think this is coming from chat LangChain community, I believe. Yeah, so community dot chat history, yeah, this one, and then chat message history. That's good. Now we have chat message history. Oh, we have already imported that. What happened? Okay, so we have imported. Why it's not using it? Okay, that's good. Finally we have this, and now let's try to run this. So we have get session something like this, so maybe we need to provide exact name. And now finally with the memory, our agent is ready. So what is the temperature of New Delhi? We are searching, we get the answer, and then I say give me result in Celsius. Now this is going to provide into Celsius, but remember we don't have any tool that can convert to the Celsius. Could you specify the temperature value? Now this is still, I believe, not able to have the proper memory, so maybe I will try to ask what about tomorrow. Okay, so it's still not able to get that. You know why? Because we have created the executor with memory, but we have not used this. We are still using the previous executor, so without memory. Now we have a executor memory which is invoking. But wait, with this, what we need to do, we also need to provide some configuration. And what are the configuration? See, we provide the config as configurable, where we provide the session ID. It can be random, but for now I just say 123 123, and now it will be good. Let's try one more time. So I'll say dictionary no attribute messages. So we get this error because here on the get session, we need to provide the session. So from the memory store, we just need to provide the session, not the full dictionary. And now if I run once again and try to get the temperature, we should get the temperature very easily. Yes, we are getting. Now let's ask for the tomorrow's. And yes, you see New Delhi weather forecast tomorrow. Okay, great. Give me temperature in Celsius. Let's see how this is going to perform, because we don't have the tool, but it is using, it tried using the math, which is obviously giving the different answer, but then it says converting the Celsius. So it's using the LLM knowledge to converting to the Celsius. So current temperature is 34, tomorrow's temperature is 32. Cool, cool. So that's how we create the agent using the LangChain. Okay, finally what we need to do, we need to understand how we also created the tool in a different way. So right now we are using the Python function with a decorator, with a description, with what actually going to be executed. All that thing can be done in a different way. How? First of all, I'm going to say search internet. This is exactly the name we are using, and this time I'm going to use the tool with a capital T. Remember, this is really different. So from LangChain.tool, import capital T tool. Why? Because this is going to help us to create the tool instead of writing the function directly. So how do we do? First of all, we provide the name, and name is something like search internet. This is the name which we have provided. Then what it need? Well, it need the description. Now description, we can just copy this and paste it here. Everything is same, but it's just a different way of doing. And then what we are going to run, so execute, what's that? Function. Yeah, function. So SERP API, not this, SERP API, oops, SERP API So this last one, SERP API dot run. This is the actual function. And finally, if we need anything else, yeah, I don't think so. Okay, everything is good. Now we can totally remove it and then we can try again. So let's run it. What is the temperature of New Delhi? Same question again and again. It's boring. No, if it's boring, then try a different one. Okay, so yeah, it's working. You can see it's giving the answer, and which is really cool. And this is how we create the agent using the LangChain. But remember, LangChain provide another way of creating agents as a production gate, which is called the Lang graph. And yes, we will going to use the Lang graph in the future videos, but for now we need to understand how LangChain agent works, how we can create the agent in LangChain. If you understand this thing, then LangGraph will become super easy for you. I'm definitely sure. And that's why I say, like, if you have any question, just let me know in the comment section, because I reply to each and every message. And if you have any suggestion for any future videos, obviously comment section is again open for you. You can message me on any social media at Sarthak Savvy, and we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye.